Have a good one.
So who is that?
He's superintendent. He's like big cheese. So remember that day when we had fire in here? If he was visiting that day, that might not have been good.
Wait, who was that guy?
I don't know his name.
He determines. If
He
Mr. Parsons
lives in
keeps
the board
his job
office.
or
He
not.
determines all the rules.
Did you hear Katie? He determines if Mr. Parsons keeps his job or not.
It's true. Okay. So, here we go.
Good thing we kept quiet, eh?
I was a little afraid for what you could say.
I was waiting for Katie to first.
So, what's going to happen here is you have a molecule, and I want you to rank them in order how these would be soluble. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change this slightly. I'm going to put the HOH over here. I want you to rank them in order from most soluble to least soluble. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want to know what's going to dissolve in the water. So this is an application question for tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The highest molecule.
So we're ranking solubility, which is the most soluble, which is the second most, third most, fourth most, fifth most, in your opinion. Hi, Manahill. This is just a water molecule I've drawn. So I'm asking which one of these are the most soluble in this? 1 to 5. Hey, Connor, what was he looking for in your book?
He asked what class it was.
Oh. Did you tell him you didn't know? Oh, Katie, we got this on the test tomorrow. I don't know if you're interested in the test tomorrow or not.
Mr. Parsons? I'm texting Abby for your notes.
Who's Abby?
You know Abby, the smart one.
Oh,
The one
her?
that gets pissed off like about grades and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one with a lot of questions.
I think I know.
Which Abby?
Glowed.
I'm not sure what the one.
Oh.
Are we dissing her now?
Are we dissing her? Always.
You started it.
Yeah.
I did not.
You were cutting her up.
She literally, she'll tell you that too.
The one day, like, she had like a 40-minute argument with our math teacher.
With Miss Graham. How do you think
she's
that
wrong.
went down?
No.
Miss Graham does not argue with people.
Okay, now that people have had a chance to do this, what is the most soluble in water out of the list here? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. What do we got? Number 1. It's got 2 places where it can hydrogen bond with the water. You can analyze this by saying water has an O and this has an OH, so it can hydrogen bond. The other way you can analyze it is to say that this has an O and this has an OH, but it can hydrogen bond. It's got 2 places to hydrogen bond. That's number 1. What's our second most soluble thing?
Number 5. That's the 1%.
Number 5 can hydrogen bond once with this. We've got an OH here and an N here, or the other way to look at it is you've got an NH there and an O there. That's our second most soluble. Third most soluble. Third. Lucas.
Number 2.
Yes, this one is a weak dipole, so it's not as strong as these two, so it can also dissolve. What's next? 4 is next because it's a shorter carbon chain. Okay? So the longer carbon chain is going to have trouble dissolving in water. Did anybody get that one? Anyone? So the ability to dissolve is going to be one type of question for tomorrow on intermolecular forces. Let's do our other type of question. Number 5, highest boiling point.
I just had such a long day. Mr. Person, do you want to know what happened in the
Not
barn this
really.
morning? Yeah, you do. It's awful.
Rank these in boiling points, highest to lowest. What you are looking for is either carbon chain length, which is important in boiling point, or if two carbon chains are the same length, it's going to be the intermolecular forces. Dara, any idea which is highest?
Which is higher?
Yeah.
Same with top one with the most carbon.
Okay, so the rule is carbon chain length rules. So if you've got a long carbon chain length, it's probably going to have a higher boiling point. So this one probably is the highest. I'm not 100% sure, it could be close, because this one has hydrogen bonding on it. When you do the test, it's not whether you get it right or not, it's whether you know how to explain it. That's going to be more important.
So if you were to pick the one with the OH, could you then...
You could also get full marks.
Could you then argue that hydrogen bonding is like the strongest out of all of them?
Yes.
Okay,
And they're not that far apart in length, 3 carbons versus 6.
right, okay.
So we could look that up and see. These two are probably going to be close, I'm going to imagine, for boiling point. But it's one of these two that's first.
And what about like nitrogen and chlorine? We're not doing those, right?
We don't have nitrogen up here. If it's
Well, I know
nitrogen,
that
it's
you
going to
don't
be high,
have It's gonna be higher.
because it's going to have an
as well.
NH.
Same with chlorine.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Hi.
it's the longest chain because it has the most hydrogen.
Oh, most carbons.
Most carbons. And then why is it for the alcohol?
Because it's got the strongest of the intermolecular forces. So you're thinking in 2 dimensions. Hi.
The propanol wins. After some quick research.
By how much?
Like 30 degrees.
Oh, I'm shocked. So these guys are so close in chain length that it's not relevant. If this was 2 carbons versus 8, I'm sure it would be this one.
Yeah, the propanol got 97 and the hexane got 68.
Okay. Can you look up octane and see what we have? Guys, for these ones here, shortest carbon chain, no functional groups, that's going to be last. Bigger dipole, this one's going to be 3rd, 4th.
Octane has 125.
So what did hexane have?
68, I believe.
Oh, so we jumped up a considerable amount right there. So as we start adding carbons on, that boiling point skyrockets.